and Electronics Department, as well as Public Enterprise and Industrial Reconstruction Department, Government of West Bengal. And of course, the other imprint of his personality does not need any elaboration. We all know that he is a cultural icon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sri Babul Shupriyo, Honorable Minister and an artist par excellence. Thank you. So, may I request Mr. Amitav Ray, the chairman of the National Expert Committee on Technology and Innovation of ICC, to be on one side, and he would also be flanked by Mr. Raj Jain, co-chair and of this particular committee, and we would not only are we very fortunate to have the Honorable Minister with us, but his presence is being showcased in the form of a conversation between all three. But right at the beginning, we would like to welcome him. May I request Mr. Amitav Ray to do the honors? We welcome Honorable Minister Sri Babul Shupriyo. And also the Utturyo. May I request Mr. Amitav Ray to start the conversation of this session, where the crown in the jewel is, of course, the Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, and Honorable Minister, Mr. Babul Supriyo, our guest. Good afternoon, everybody. It's really a privilege to have our Honorable Minister in this ICC Visiontech 2025, especially when we are celebrating from Indian Chamber of Commerce our centenary year. It's 100th year of Indian Chamber, and our committee, looking at technology, innovation and advancement, we are working very closely and collaborating with industry, academia, as well as government to make sure that we enhance our capability in this state and drive growth together. Today's topic, as you all know, that is lead. How using IT, starting from startups to very established enterprises, can learn new technology, evolve the companies, adapt new technology, new ways of working, and then disrupt not only the industry, also themselves to drive the growth. I think growth is the key mantra. And in today's world, when we see every morning something new happening, changes are taking place, I think it is important for us to come together like this and discuss and refresh and share knowledge among each other, what's going to happen and what is happening in the industry. So with that, I'd like to welcome once again our Honorable Minister, Mr. Babul Supriyo, and we're excited to hear from him his perspective about our industry and what he is seeing as a growth opportunity and his vision for us to make things happen in the right direction. So with that, Mr. Minister.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm happy I'm a little late because entire room, apart from the essence that is created by all of you, by Indian Chamber of Commerce, by organizing this enlightening event, but also that is the essence of of today's function or a gathering that you have done. Congratulations on that. But it also, the room is filled with the essence of great food that must have been served a little while earlier. So I'm not happy that you have had your food, it's post lunch, and had a little time to ponder about what is next is going to happen in today's day. Now, first and foremost, what I would say is that let's do something honorable. It uh, it is important for people who are uh, I would say younger than the rest of the senior politicians. I am young, but I would say that maybe it is important for me to not get too attached to the honorable minister, the honorable word that was said 11 times. I counted it. It's quite embarrassing, actually. I heard it 11 times. Madhumonti has introduced me, a friend of mine. That's exactly why I said the ma'am. She has introduced me in n number of concerts, musical concerts, since I would say 1997, 98, when I was even younger. So since then, I've only heard her talk about my music side. So hearing she saying honorable 7 times, I counted it. It is not very. I kind of felt embarrassed about it. So putting that aside, what is what is important today is the what I see uh, as I read about what exactly we are going to discuss today, and what you may have discussed, you have discussed, is the word lead. Now, that's a very important word. I think everyone in this room who are sitting here are leading your own respective institutions. And therefore, when you talk in front of leaders, you don't want to make your speech long and boring, because the people who know need not get a speech from me, because I am trying to use my HI to understand what AI is from all of you. So, though there is a lot of skepticism about whether AI is going to eat into our HI, but I think it's an important question that is being discussed in every forum nowadays, and that probably definitely makes us walk in the right direction as we adapt to this new ways of. I've heard about children learning, about me learning, not learning, getting beaten up for it, but now it is a machine learning. I don't know whether it takes the burden away from human beings, but I think everything is going to be driven by your leadership, and that's why the lead word is very important. I see that right there on the top. I have a fantastic speech written for me that I could read out from black and white in front of you, but I don't want to do that, because whatever I want to say, I have it in my heart. If I make mistakes, that is exactly why I'm here, to learn and to solve, to get rid of the mistakes that we might be making. So, this lead or leader award, I would obviously say that we are all working under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee ji. And I have gone through the acronym and what you have attributed to each alphabet. Lead, uh, you have said learn. That's fantastic. E is evolve. A is adapt, and D was a word that you were not sure what you could attach to. So there was a searching amongst all of you, everyone in Indian Chamber of Commerce, to find an appropriate, word for the alphabet D. And I think what you chose doesn't go with what you're doing. It's disrupt. Why? Just because lead ends with a D. Why didn't you think about direction? Why didn't you think about destination? And most of all, when you're a West Bengal, why need to think of Didi? So, to put it on a light note, you're doing the right thing in lead, but several times, no pun intended, no politics here, but I've seen in first hand how our honorable Prime Minister first gave away names, he gave names to different projects, and there was after that a scampering amongst the IAS officers and all the ministers, even to find out, to a competition rather, that how can they find a better word for the alphabets that have been used in that name. So. Uh, I think that the to come into to come back into what we are here for. Uh, See, these subjects are very new to us. I mean, what we are learning, what we are. We I remember the head honcho of NVIDIA. He had visited India once and has given us presentation on what AI and what it is going to do to human beings in the next few years. I heard it about maybe 3 years back in Delhi, and it sounded very interesting, but none of us really understood that something like this can happen. But now, while you're using all of that, whether it is chat BAT, whether anything, whether in creating emails, whether finding a précis of it, we are using AI, we understand that what wonders it can do. Now, the point is, how can we use AI in our daily lives? And when I talk about daily lives, obviously in building something, constructing something, doing something constructive. And I think a lot is happening not only around the world, but I think India is catching up at a very fast rate. So is West Bengal, because there is a lot of brain drain that we often talk about. That is because we have the brains, and as Silicon Valley, we see, my music takes me there very often for a very long time. So we see that there are so many Indians who are heading companies. I think you know the names of all of them, but those are the stars of the software industry or from the IT industry and the big companies. But if you see the pyramid of what happens in San Jose, or how it goes down, or maybe Cupertino, how it goes down, you will find Indians everywhere along the pyramid. No one is going to walk up without the help of those Indians with their brains that we talk about, sitting there to help the cause. So it is important that we hold these conferences. And if I may say that the West Bengal government is ministry also is doing a lot of things to ensure that the IT industry grows. Once we walk in the right direction, and once we find out that, as they say, that if you are walking in the right direction, then the only thing that you can do is keep walking. So all of you are enlightened men and women. So once you are walking in the right direction, obviously you are learning in every way manner possible, and therefore we are moving towards artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything that is associated with data centers, softwares and everything. So obviously this machine learning, AI, it has already crept into our lives, into our functioning, before we even understood how we have started using it. So the point is to let the IT industry grow in a direction where all these aspects, all these different virtues can automatically find a place, and get into it harmoniously. So if we just see, data is very important. Sometimes it's important to spell out a little bit of data. In 2011, the amount of export that used to happen from Bengal was somewhere around 4,500 crores. That was in 2011. Right now, we are standing at a figure of almost 35,000 crores in terms of the export that is happening from West Bengal. So definitely, it is a move in the right direction, and it has happened with the leadership right leadership, with the right intention, with the right intent to help all of you. And I think, Bengal Silicon Valley is something that Devashish Da was very closely, is rather not was very closely associated with. Not of Newtown was newly done and freshly done under his leadership when he was in HITCO. And as they say, a IAS officer never retires. He's still working so hard. He After retirement, he has again made a white paper, and he still started writing in a new way, as you see his attire today. So in Bengal Silicon Valley, if we start with Calcutta, we had about 250 acres of land, and the land cost was, as of today, if I say, that time when it was started, it was around 25 crores per acre. Today, the valuation lies at 40 crores per acre. But the West Bengal government had given away that land at the rate of 5 crores per acre. That in itself is a huge incentive, a huge subsidy, I would say. We are a lot of buzz is happening about this announcement that was made a little while back, that West Bengal government is going to make a pause on the subsidies and incentives that are being given. So people have a they have an apprehension about whether something is going to be taken away from them. I think that your balance sheets have already started with that discount or with that subsidiary that the West Bengal government felt honestly should be done to support the IT industry, and to realize the dream of our chief minister, which when she always says that Calcutta should be the next IT capital of the country. And definitely it has all the potential and all the virtues to to actually realize the dream. And it is happening in a manner where, in Bengal Silicon Valley, all all the land, all the 250 acres of land has been taken. We have 38 companies who have been already allotted the land. There are about two companies in which we are already working. There are 42 companies in there. So two companies which are already in the process. Out of these companies that I've said, uh, about 19 of them have already started their work in some manner or the other. Five of them have already, completed their complete buildings and everything. They are on the verge of starting their operations, and three of them, namely, I have the names here. Three of them have actually started work. They have started their operations here, and this is only Bengal Silicon Valley. If you look outside, we also have Infosys with a state of the art office. If you go and see what a beautiful office, I've had the opportunity to visit it a couple of times. Fantastic. They have already started their operations here. And what is surprising and what is very interesting is it's not new, not that it is something new, but when a company like this, an international company, a national company that has been gone international in such a big way, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, when you have those companies in here working at a very fast speed, the ancillary companies that grow around it, that also is a huge boost to the economy. Everything happens around it. So if you go out of the Bengal Silicon Valley, these are also businesses that have come to Bengal, and they are doing a lot. TCS already had a campus in which they had, they're already employed around 50,000 employees here. And just about a couple of days back, I think 4 days back, their head honcho actually had a very fruitful meeting with our honorable chief minister, in which the way forward has been crafted. And there have been some very interesting, I wouldn't say promises, but very interesting pleas that have been made, and very interesting announcements or plans that TCS has in terms of how much more they're going to invest in Bengal. Global Foundry in itself is a huge endeavor that is coming, that has already come to West Bengal. We have been working, the IT ministry has been working for a very long time to ensure that they get what they want. And we have been able to give them 20,000 square feet of area in Sector 5, where they are already, they have started the initial work and all that. And out of the four stages that are there in the semiconductor, what should I say, the entire process of the semiconductor arena, there are four stages in which they are already going to they've already decided that R&D is one particular area that they're going to start in Kolkata, and then they will move forward to the other areas of semiconductor, in the arena of semiconductor. There are the four stages that I'm talking about. So Global Foundry in itself is a huge win for West Bengal. And what is important to note is that you just cannot make the capital of the state as your, yes, that can remain in focus. But when I talk about a big company in the middle, a nucleus, probably, if BSV and Sector 5 is the nucleus then of the cell, then there has to be other things surrounding it. And therefore, all throughout West Bengal, we have 22 IT parks. And I am very pleased to inform to you today that, apart from the 10 viable properties that we have in Sector 5, of which 10 of, the 10 properties that we have, 100% of that space has already been taken by the IT companies there. And I will share a small data that was put forward to us yesterday in the IT conference that you may have read about in the papers today. uh, uh, this company Infinity, who makes this buildings, Infinity buildings, where they lend out spaces for IT companies. They in the meeting, they said yesterday that they had around 1.2 million square feet of area in the buildings that they have in Sector 5 and around. Out of that, 500,000 square feet have already been taken in the last 2-3 years. If you wish to clap, you may. That is good. Yeah. uh, that comes from my singing side, because when I sing a song, I want everyone to clap, not one of them. So anyways, coming back to what they said, that They have now increased their 1.2 million square feet into 1.7 million square feet. And investors don't invest unless and until they see a good return. So when I use the word return, I also return to the hot topic, and that is the return of these brains that have moved away from Kolkata, that moved away from their hometown, and have settled, apart from foreign soils, but also in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Gurgaon, etc. Now, that's not a very bad thing, because these cities have probably started, they did start a little earlier than we actually took up the endeavor. As I said, in 2011, it was only 4,500 crores that was being exported from Calcutta. So obviously, they took a leap forward. They took a leap forward ahead of us. But we want to catch up, and we are walking in the direction with the data that I'm sharing with you. The 22 IT parks that we have, as I said, that you have to have enough material around the nucleus for the cell to function. Read in biology, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, and all of that. They has to be there. So if I see, out of this 22 government parks, there are three in Siliguri. 100% of that has been taken. There are five in Kolkata. That is these. I'm talking about the Webel properties, the 10 Webel properties that we have there. 100% of the five is occupied. The rest we have in Kalyani, Durgapur, Krishnanagar, Asansol, Bolpur, Kharagpur, Howrah, which we call the Tier 2 cities. So that is also, they are those spaces are also being taken up at a very fast, in a very fast manner. In most of these IT parks, more than 50%, in some places 70% of these areas have been taken. So I'm definitely very positive. We are all very positive that Bengal, if you see our cost of living index, if you want to stay in Gurgaon, you might be getting a 2 lakh salary, or maybe a 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupee per month salary. The higher salary you get, the better place you have to live in. The society has to be great. It has to have a gym. It has to have a swimming pool. It's all about status. You're in the IT industry. It's a little bit about, it's not only lifestyle, it's a little bit about style as well. So the higher salary you're getting, the better place you'll have to rent. So if you're getting 10 lakhs, maybe 2 3 lakhs goes into your rent when you're trying to stay in Gurgaon, or maybe in Bangalore, in a place close to your office. And then reaching those places, the amount of jam they have there. I think Calcutta is one place where you have the a place to breathe. As I said, new town was made. It is a new town, and we have new dreams, new aspirations, and ample reasons to believe in them. So we are having investors coming to Kolkata, and this impetus has to go on. You know, with all of you taking the responsibility on your shoulders to change the perception that for a very long time had been attached to Kolkata. We are ourselves to blame, where the perception had been created that Kolkata is lagging behind in IT, because this data doesn't always come out in the media. Something happens in the morning which is a bigger breaking news than announcing that 35,000 crores are being exported from Kolkata. So you will not see it in the media. I'm very thankful to the media friends that yesterday's conference was very well covered, but normally you don't really see that. There is a little bit of concern. I don't want to make it very long, so I'm just jumping from one topic to the other. There is a little bit of concern with the fact that West Bengal has still not announced the GCC semiconductor policies. The reason we are delaying that, it is in the process. Devashis will vouch for it. It is in the process, but we are taking a little bit of time because we want to make it as competitive with the other, states, and make it kind of foolproof, where we cater to the needs or the aspirations that are coming back to us right now. Many companies, like yesterday, the meeting that we had the NKDA CEO of NKDA, we had the special secretary from the power department, we had the HITCO, I think HITCO, managing director of HITCO was there yesterday as well, because we wanted the occupants of Bengal Silicon Valley to actually spell out what exactly are the hindrances that they are facing there. and so many, from parking to height of the buildings, FAR, so many things, permissions from DGCA, the red zone, yellow zone, how much your building, how much height can you give to the buildings when you have building them around the airport. So many things were discussed. There were some policy things that were discussed. Policy changes take time, but once we are aware of what are the areas where the people who have come to Bengal or have invested here are looking for, we can just make this policy even better. But the delay in GCC or semiconductor policies, sir, thank you so much. I'll mention all of you. I've just held it for a, yeah, because the clap is going to happen when I mention your names. So why not make it happen at the end? So yeah, I've not mentioned your name. I'll do it. Yeah, we have a Amitav and a Raj. Both of them, Raj we know has been the name of Shah Rukh Khan in many movies, and Amitav is Amitav. So I have left them. I have left the box for the end. So yeah. So uh, yes, where was I? I was in the confederation of. I was in a conference. Yeah, I'm back here. So what I'm trying to say is the absence of this policies being spelled out is not going to cause any. Is not going to cause bring in any ABS, automatic braking system, to in the manner in which you want to proceed. So these are going to come very soon. We already have a IT policy in place from 2019. It is there. It was there before. It was there from 2019. We have made some very interesting amendments to it. It is just waiting to be announced. It will take a little bit of time. I'm not giving you a time frame for it, but you need not worry too much. There could be a little bit of worry, but don't worry too much about it, because we are also moving in the right direction in that. Now, obviously, when I talk about the key word that you put it on top, lead, you have said, where's the paper? Yeah. Yes. So, what are the words? Lead, L, E, A, and D. We have four stages in the word lead. In the word lead. Now, when I used to record in Bombay, I still do, but in the initial stages, Mehboob Studio, I've learned, all of you have heard about it, Mehboob Studios, on the mixer board, where the mixer board from where the recording used to happen, which was the governing body of the recording industry. On that, there was a small piece of paper, and that said, Vivekananda ji had said that every work has to go through three stages, that is, opposition, ridicule, and acceptance. So maybe the opposition had happened long back, prior to 2011, the reason why we did not grow at the rate that we should have. Uh, the ridicule happened much later, because the opposition's work is to ridicule the ruling party. So you cannot, Shashi Tharoor is getting a brickbat for not ridiculing or just opposing. That is the main work that he needs to do. So the opposition brought back the ridicule, but thanks to all of you, that acceptance is there at the end, because these are the exact three stages that Vivekananda spoke about, and he is our icon in terms of how we think, how we want to think when we talk about our dreams and we aspire. So the IT industry ministry is going to be there, hand holding you in every manner possible. I think most of you have my mobile number. It's quite easily available, and if you send me a text, I do respond to it. I'm not talking about what I'm going to do in the in going to future, that you get my number today and text me tomorrow. I think it has happened in the last 2.5 years, because that is what I've been directed to do when I was given this ministry, and I'm trying to do it so that I can bring some music into the IT industry, where everything plays like a harmonious orchestra. And thanks to all of you, thanks to organizations like you, who ensures that we meet very often, where exchange of ideas and new ideas come forth. So all the best to all of you, with AI, machine learning. All the best to us, thinking that we are going to be able to support you with the infrastructure that you need. But do keep walking in this direction, because we are walking well. And I would add a extra second to it. We are walking with a speed, but I do see acceleration per second square happening in a lot of areas in IT. So please keep that on, bring it on, as they say, and we are ready to ensure that we all work towards a common goal, and that is to make Kolkata the next IT hub of India. Thank you so much. I hope you had a great day and a great second half as well. Yes. Now you need to clap more because I'm going to mention Mr. Amitav Ray. Mr. Amitav Ray is the chairman. Please sit. Mr. Amitav Ray is the chairman, National Expert Committee on Technology and Innovation. Dr. Rajiv Singh, Director General of Indian Chamber of Commerce. We have Mr. Raj Jain, Chairman and MD of RS Software. Mr. Anuj Vaid, VP, Kendrill India. I have obviously people who are sitting in the front row are important people. जैसे पूजा कमेटी में फ्रंट के रो में वही लोग बैठते हैं जो चंदा ज़्यादा देते हैं तो it's very simple. We have been doing that. I have been part of puja committees as well. So if I have not mentioned your names, please pardon me for that. You're all very special for us, the front benches and the back benches. I hope that you have a comfortable stay in Kolkata and a comfortable stay longer in Kolkata as you work towards this common goal. Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Babul Supriyo, because you want me to say Honorable Minister, I'll choose that. From cultural to, first of all, thank you very much for articulating your thoughts extremely well. And I can see it's reaching to everybody in this room. But I believe that from cultural to intellectual capital, Bengal has shown leadership for years and years and years. So, for example, which is telling you briefly as you're walking up to the hall, that all of India's digital payment infrastructure, for which India has come to be known globally, the UPI platform and the foreign risk platform for India has all been built in Calcutta and by our software. So when we look at that, this morning there was a lot of great brainstorming, thought sharing, lots of good speakers. And of course, as you would probably imagine, the key topics that came up were around AI and quantum technologies, which are not really future, they are with us today. And you spoke very well about it. The question for you is it possible for West Bengal to take a leadership and set up a special group within your ministry which focuses on AI and attract the investments in AI and quantum technology? Thank you.
So the grilling starts now. Yeah. That's exactly what I spoke about. Machine learning, AI is all part of the process. In the recording industry, the singers don't make a recording studio at home. I'm using these anecdotes because these metaphors, because this is something that I'm, used to. We don't make studios at home because the softwares, the way we record, and they change so fast that if you invest on a software or a hardware which costs you probably 50 lakhs or a good recording machine by Studer is going to cost you maybe 3 crores, but it is going to change in 6 months. So it keeps on changing, and people obviously they migrate from one platform to the other. So right now, though it is a fact that it is said that human beings only use about 26 to 27% of the efficacy of how much of our brains. That is how much we consciously can use. Einstein probably had crossed 40%. That's generally believed. But still, that is enough to drive and make AI grow in the manner it is growing, or all the other ancillaries that is coming with AI. Because as you walk with AI, you will find the areas where it is eating up jobs. You'll find the areas where jobs must be created. You also want to build up areas where AI can assist you in in raising your bar. So obviously, when we are talking about the IT industry growing in Kolkata, we are talking about everything. And as I said, we are seeing so much of investment. Most of the companies that have come here are nationally, internationally famous companies. And therefore, they are going to migrate from one technology to a better technology. And right now, that migration is happening from, from what we have been doing and how we can do things in a better way. The nano chip that has been made, what is the capability? How many millions of how many million calculations it can do in a nanosecond, and what was the speed earlier and how it is being done now. So as we move along this technology path, it is important for me to only say that government is going to be handholding you in that. It may not come in the way of subsidies and incentives, because understand one thing, that everything that the government gives away, it comes from public money. So it is very important that a lot of that chunk goes to the poor. But at the same time, we have also created that atmosphere where you can also grow in a very positive manner. And it started with the land itself. The first thing that you needed to come to Kolkata was the land. And that was given to you. If it is in, I talk about the current price at 1/8 the price that land in that area is, or in Bengal Silicon Valley was. So things are happening, and the answer to you is a big yes. And make sure please make sure that you reach out to us. We are a great ACS in Rajiv Kumar, for a very long time, leading the IT ministry as the ACS there. Obviously, we have a very knowledgeable ACS in Mr. Anup Agarwal, who has just joined about a month back, and he's also the secretary ACS in the technical education group. And I think that makes things so much, that interconnects things so much in such a more easier, interesting manner. मैंने आपको बोला था क्लैप पहले मत दीजिएगा क्योंकि पिक्चर अभी बाकी है थोड़ा सा. तो that why that makes things easier and interconnected, because when you build a pyramid, you need workers in every level, skilled people. So you have people coming out of IIMs and IT, IITs and IIEST and Jadavpur and ISI, all these internationally reputed institutions, as you have, and they're the creamy layer. They come with the best of degrees, and they are from the top layer. But the ITI that we have, I think there are about 392 in West Bengal, with government and private. If we count them together, it's about close to 400 ITI institutes we have, which gives away diplomas. So when you're making a company, obviously you need skilled personnel in every stage of that growth. So we have those creamy layer coming out of these big institutions. At the same time, the ITIs are also helping. So when we have the secretary, the ACS of the technical education department ministry, as the ACS of IT as well, things become much more easier. I'll tell you how. The technical education ministry has a scheme where they are giving internship, and they are helping in skill development for IT professionals and professionals from different plethora of companies that are working in West Bengal. And it is very interesting that while the entire cost is being borne by West Bengal government of training, the training that is being given by the technical education ministry, the only condition that is given to this company is that if we train 20 people there, and if we train 20 of your, or we take 20 interns, you have to promise us that you're going to absorb at least 10 of them into your own companies. And that has actually happened. The people who have, so this is, I think, a new thing to you. A lot of people are not aware of this. Were you aware of it? No. Maybe technical education is doing that. So just research that a little bit. You'll find it in the government websites. So have your interns going in and learning from there, and see what the curriculum is, and then fulfill that promise of absorbing maybe 10 in your own companies, and that can help the entire pyramid. So in a crux, before you ask any other question, hard question, I tried to put everything in one bouquet. I think that answers many of your future questions as well. Right. And then I'll take some from Mr. Roy as well. Yeah.
All right. I think, and that was very interesting to know that how we can take some advantage of this new scheme. I'm sure companies represented here will look into that. I have an opinion, spending over 30 years of my life in Calcutta and in IT. I think one thing we lag, and this is my request and a question to Mr. Babul Supriyo, is I think there's an image issue, which you also recognized in the beginning. Can we do something for brand building? I think, you have the infrastructure, you have people, you have everything, and therefore, still, when we talk to any foreign organizations or any large scale organization, when they look at India, this Calcutta doesn't appear in the radar screen. And I think there is a communication drive we can perhaps make from our side. Like every product you launch, you spend some money in advertising. Do you see that we can do something like that for better brand building?
See, sometimes it is important. Silence is also important. I tell you why. Because when you talk too much about what you want to do and what you aspire to do, empty vessels they sound a lot. So these international companies are coming to India. So when someone says that West Bengal is not doing well, you can spell out this data that we have had 35,000 crores of exports in the last year, and that is government data. It is not going to be wrong. So and it's a very logical, very believable data. We are not talking about millions of crores and all of that. So it's a very believable data. When you talk about a company like Global Foundry, when you talk about Cognizance, Accenture, Infosys, Wipro, all these major companies working and having set up TCS, having set up their offices in Kolkata, don't you think that in itself is a huge advertisement? We, from the government, we have a lot of brandings, we have a lot of hoardings here and there, Mr. Ray, rather. We have them there all over India. I do visit different cities in India, Bangalore, Hyderabad. Even this month, I'm going to Bangalore for a BCCI conference where we are going to specifically talk about startups. And when I say startup, which is part of our arena, I'm very happy to tell you that NASCOM, for the last quite a few years, have been we have given them a space, a huge space, I think about 10,000 square feet, right above the IT ministry. They're right one floor above the IT ministry. And I myself had gone to NASCOM and spent about 3 hours where I had asked them to select the 10 best startups they have who can, display what they have in mind and what they're thinking about, what is their product. And when we did this program in Bangalore last year, we actually had some very able venture capitalists who had come there, who not only we had requested them that if you really see some good talents, why didn't you support it? Why didn't you support it? Like I have said, that every big company, they can adopt one startup and give them the direction, apart from a financial assistance, to take them forward. Ratan Tata did it. So I think you people can also do it. And the perception has to be created collectively. The government in itself cannot always create perception, because the perception about governments in democratic countries have not been good in the first place. That's the bigger problem. Yeah, so while we work towards it, it's also very important that while these things are thrown at you, that we do have to face brickbats, because Calcutta has not done, West Bengal has not done very well in the past, in the initial years when IT had started their growth. So we have to face those questions, those apprehensions, but the best way is to actually give them data and not huge sentences and words. So spell out the data, name the companies who have started here, the amount of investment. If you wish to, please reach out to us. I'll send you an email to all of you, where we'll highlight what is the actual investment that these big companies have done in West Bengal, what is the land they have taken, and what is the employment that they aspire to do in the next few years. I think that speaks for itself. You cannot say I sing very well and then just say that and go away. If you sing well, people will know. If you don't, your tickets won't sell. It's as simple as that. So just go ahead with the data. And I have my OSD here. Yeah, OSD here. Please ensure that you get a few emails and give them with the data that would help them create a new fresh perception about what we are really doing in West Bengal.
Perfect. I think this is a very encouraging answer to us. And what we will do, we'll collect the data from you and we'll share it with all our chamber members, the 100 plus IT companies who are member of our chamber. We'll share with them and we'll ensure that all this great stuff you are talking about, people are aware. Thank you.
In fact,
Thank you so much.
In fact, from your responses, thank you very much. I observed that you're taking the various steps to help the IT industry here. In fact, I'm the past chairman of NASCOM. And I think NASCOM does a great work. And for you to give them the space and to participate actively, I think that's a brilliant step for Bengal to go further to attract more investments.
Yes, we have a leader who has asked us to do so. He's leading from the front. As you see, as you've seen, the meetings with Global Foundry, the meeting with TCS, that has all happened with the Honorable Chief Minister herself. It was so. It's not me. It's the government of West Bengal under her leadership which is working towards this goal. I think Madhumonti is already here. It kind of means that we have to end it here. And I don't know whether she has come as a savior, but I think I have answered the questions in a nutshell, so that you can think positively about whatever is happening, actually happening in Bengal, and not not utopian or in rhetoric. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And of course, if there are any further questions, we can do it digitally. Do mail him, as he said. All right. So may I request our Director General, Dr. Rajiv Singh, to come and present a memento to the minister. I'm consciously leaving out the honorable as it is causing embarrassment. Doctor, right. Thank you so much. And now, finally, not as the MC, but as a friend, can I make a request? I mean, this is a request on behalf of all of you, right? So, what do we want? For him to sing one song, two songs, three songs, whatever.
I come buy one get one free. I'm aware of that. I still don't know whether I am the oil bottle, the actual product with which a small soap is given, whether I'm the soap or the oil bottle. But I just know the fact that people who call me as a minister want me to sing, and people who call me as a singer wants me to inaugurate their program by jalawing the deep. So I'll sing one line, a couple of lines from a song of mine, a favorite song of mine. And I think that is the essence. It is about you and us coming together. It's about the government handholding the people who would come to Bengal. I'm happy this song suddenly came into my mind while she was halfway through making the request. I knew what was coming. So this is about all of us working in tandem, working in harmony. So I'll sing two lines of it. सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, धीमी सी धड़कन को बढ़ने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है ये पास आ जाए हम तुम हम तुम, आंखों से हमको उतरने दो जरा, शर्मो हया को मचलने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है ये पास आ जाए हम तुम हम तुम, सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा. And I want you to say at the end of it, for Bengal, कहो ना प्यार है तुमसे प्यार है. Thank you, Madhavanti.
Thank you very, very much. We'll just take a couple of minutes and then move on to the next session. Absolutely. So, absolutely music to our ears, his words, his commitments, his promises, particularly the sincerity with which he said that you remain in touch with me, not only through my official mail, but you can also message me. So how many people in the government would do that? And of course, the music, it goes without saying, was wonderful. Thank you once again. And we would just take a couple of minutes to restructure the stage and commence with our next session.
मैडम चार
ये वाला सेशन होगा यहाँ पर इसको देख मंजीत मंजीत नायक को दो क्लिपिंग ये चेयर है यहाँ पर वेंकटेश नारायणा यहाँ पर इसको रहने दो वहाँ पर We are almost ready to start our next panel, panel 3, which is also on a sector which is very, very relevant and so much a part of our lives. The innovator next door, how startups are leading the way in the small and medium sized business, SMB space. Health 3.0, the Meditech revolution that's saving lives. And Dr. Manojit Nayak, Director, STPI, Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, Government of India, is going to be the moderator for this panel. And the esteemed panelists are Mr. Venkatesh, Mr. R. Venkatesh, Group Chief Operating Officer of Narayana Health. And we see their presence everywhere in Kolkata, in West Bengal. And we have Mr. Monojit Sengupta, who is the CIO advisory of the delivery center head, industry head for energy, resource, and utilities, TCS. So we already have 2 speakers. The other speaker, Mr. Robin Roy, is Director and CEO, Special Foundation, Managing Director, Suncraft. And we also have Dr. Orno Basu, who is the co-founder and CEO of the Kanchan Positive Parenting. And this is a very, very rich panel, Mr. Obijit. Right. So basically, we have 3 speakers and the moderator. So may I now request the moderator, Mr. Manjit Nayak, to kindly take over.
Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think these the sessions we are just going to start after the minister's very interesting program. Uh, from since morning, actually, we are listening the startup. Every all the speakers are talking about the startup journey and all. So, yeah, please come. We have started actually. We are. So the startup journey, as we all of us know, it's a once one more. It's already one decade. India is running ahead on the startup activities, and we are the third largest ecosystem across the globe, and more than 1,80,000 startup. They have been recognized by the DPIIT, and many startup, nearly 5,000 startup has already get government uh, funding support as well as the tax benefit. So the startup journey is growing day by day across the country, and we have also witnessed tier 2, tier 3 cities, as earlier speakers have all told. They are witnessing day by day increasing in the tier 2, tier 2 to tier 3 cities. So everywhere there is a boost in the startup journey, and the entire ecosystem is working for that, starting from the government to different private institution, educational institution, R&D institution. Everybody is actually the part of this ecosystem. So if you think about startup journey, then I can just give you one example of the name is Visiontech. If you have the vision and if you include there the technology, then definitely you can lead at your journey, and you can be a leader in the society, right? So I'll just start with the one example of our Bengal tech guy who is from the North Bengal. He's sitting at North Bengal. He was once decided the vision. Why I told this story, because he has realized that every year there is a shark attacks happens in the Western countries, and he has been realized that 2 to 3 casualty it has been seen that every year happened in the Western countries. So sitting at the North Bengal, he has been visualized that how we can control that, right? So in that vision, and if that he is able to visualize this problem area, so he has started one technological activities, like he tried to restrict that casualties through the drone technology, and it should be give the alarm in the seabed, and so that the swimmers will come while the shark is before is to them. So in that way, that Bengal tech guys has started, and he belongs to tier 2, tier 3 cities. So his startup journey is moving everywhere, and so we must support this entire ecosystem, and we all have equal contribution. Not only the government, everybody has to be contributed, so that things will move much better in future. So coming to this, we have the panelists, eminent, all experts, panelists from different segment. One, Mr. Venkatas Rao is a group chief operating officer from Narayan Health, which is our one topic related to health tech and all. Will of course will discuss these issues. Uh, uh, Manojit Sengupta, he is our CIO advisor and delivery center head of TCS, and also he is ICC National Technology Expert Committee member. So as a tech leader, he has a lot of uh, thought to share today in this panel. Mr. Robin Roy is the director and CEO of Solar Lab Foundation and MD of Suncraft. He is working toward the energy sector, and also he will also share his thought about this startup journey and how the ecosystem is working and all. Then Dr. Arnav Basu is the co-founder of CEO of Yanch Positive Parenting Company. Actually, he's basically related to Aztec company. So he's basically looking for the education sector and also in the hospitality sector. So we are have the very versatile um, panelists. They are actually having a different expertise in their own. So we'll put various question one by one, and we'll also analysis how the startup ecosystem will going to be function in properly in country, and how the our startup will be getting the support. Secondly, how this technological revolution, including the AI, ML, or you can talk about the blockchain, IoT, all this, all technically we are talking about from the morning, how it can be revolved this the ecosystems, and our startup will get benefited out of this, and it will solve our problem, and it will address to the society challenges. So we'll start with questions from energy sectors. Mm, to Mr. Robin Roy. Energy sector is day by day is changing, and there is a lot of innovation in the renewable energy, and particularly in the storage efficiency and contributing to the cleaner side. There is a lot of challenges as well as the technological adoption is happening. So what opportunity you are looking for existing country energy ecosystem to develop and increasingly involvement in the technology to push India further?
Thank you, Dr. Naik, dignitaries, audience, and thank you, ICC, for having me here. I have been into this energy sector, and not only in energy sector, energy and plantation sector for last 12, 15 years. So I have seen the journey of the solar energy from the beginning, which is 2010, when Jawaharlal Nehru Solar Mission has announced, and the current trend, or the technology trend, which was started in 2010, and everybody used to think that the solar energy is very much costly. And I give an example, which was costly, say 300 rupees per unit, is now it's only 40 rupees. So we understand that how the innovation has played a role. Otherwise, how did the cost could come down to so much? So innovation is actually the key, which has been driving this energy sector. And there's a lot of new technologies, like we would be expecting. Hydrogen is of course on the talks, but there are nuclear energy, small nuclear energy, and probably that is would be another very interesting aspect to look into. Solar, hydrogen, nuclear energy, I think these are the three energy sources will shape the Indian energy scenario. But coupled with the storage thing, and storage has been divided in two parts. Like one is of course the conventional battery technologies, and the another is the PSP, like a big it's called hydro, means hydro pumps. That's like one we have in Purulia hydro pump storage, where we are pumping the energy or storing the energy at daytime when we do have less amount of demand, and we use this energy when we have the high demand. So I think the technology wise or innovation wise, these three things we will be looking for next 10-15 years. I think that nuclear energy, solar energy, and hydrogen will shape the trend. And on the storage side, there will be a lot of and there is a lot of effort also. We would be looking for sodium ion as a battery source, which will disrupt the industry. In fact, many IITs, like including my alma mater, is IIT Kharagpur, also has is playing a very vital role. Identifying that who could be the industry leader in sodium ion. So these are the things we are expecting in that energy thing. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Coming to this, the rapid advancement of the digital technology, there is a lot of involvement in the technology side from the AI, and you go so in the logistics area also, right? The further digital transformation and the streamlining the operations. So we are adopting in the logistics side and the supply chain management. So, a question to Mr. Arnab Basu. So, how this technological adoption, particularly in the AI and IoT segment, blockchain, whatever you're talking, how it will help to the in the efficient of the supply chain management and enhance the transparency and traceability. Can you say to audience?
Yeah, thank you, ICC, for this wonderful gathering. And I can see a lot of familiar faces. And to my fellow panelists, good evening. A very pertinent question today. We all are speaking about artificial intelligence, blockchain, everything. But perhaps what we need to first look at is how the entire thing works. When I was actually doing a lot of startup mentoring and all, there had been a lot of startups who figure out that, okay, I am working on artificial intelligence, or perhaps I am creating a deep tech startup. And then what happens is we keep on spending a lot of money, which is called a cash burning, which is a fad term nowadays. But unfortunately, with that cash burning scenario, either you are left with zero cash, where you are perhaps not being able to take yourself to the next level, or there is a scenario that you need more funding to be pumped in. And there I had been doing work with a startup in Bangalore, where I found that they had created a brilliant thought process of going into the quantum computing, which is the need of the hour. That's fine. They had spent almost 15 crores in 18 months, and unfortunately they had zero revenue. So what we started was, we have to first think of how can we move into creating, first understanding how can we go into a revenue generating model, where we can look at the first problems that we can solve utilizing the methodologies that we are doing, and then parallelly we can keep on developing that. So that supply chain needs to be there. So, and in that supply chain, what I believe is, we call it as a capital efficiency. Then if you can actually look at how can we collaborate with a lot of players who are actually working in the same place or the adjacent places. And then last but not the least, how can we utilize corporate partnerships? What is happening is, we are always looking at the traditional VC funding route. But if you can look at some examples, I was doing in Mumbai as well. There we found that they had been able to create a long-term 7-8 years partnership with a particular corporate house, and they had given them a developmental fund and also a pre-order. Now, when that happens, you do not have to actually think of creating that pitches or something where you will be able to generate fund, and then perhaps you will be doing your deep take analysis and the research. Here you can do the revenue, as well as you can keep on doing that research, and therefore you move up the ladder. And if this entire thing can be worked out, what happens is, then the traceability part of it, the communication part of it, all will fall in place. We should not look at things like, okay, since I am doing a research, and the research takes a lot of time, and therefore I keep on only researching. Here, the startup field, we need to understand that execution is the key. And if you are not executing, perhaps your idea, your research that you are doing, perhaps somebody with a lot of speed and with these sort of ideas, that how can I partner with corporates and yet take it to the next level, will be actually eating out in that competition. And that is where I think we should move ahead and see how we can actually utilize all these, rather than seeing that, okay, I am utilizing blockchain or I am utilizing IoT. Can we have a synergy, which we call as a symbiotic relationship between these startups, like AI chips, maybe robotics, maybe somebody is working in a computer vision, somebody is working maybe in robotics. Can we bring them together so that a common facility, a R&D facility can be set up, where we bring down the R&D setup cost to 60% and time to market to 40%? I think that in itself will create a lot of ripple effect.
Thank you. I think it's as you told, it's required a collaboration with all to escalate this, particularly the supply chain and all, from the technological domain to the industry side. Everything has to be jointly. We have to work together. Anyway, we'll come to the last stage that question. Thank you. Coming to the digital health, actually, it has been observed only 10% penetration has been happened in the rural area in the digitalization healthcare, right? Uh, so, looking to this, actually, how this technological revolution will be used to leverage to improve the quality of care, such as through remote patient monitoring, personalization of medicine, evidence-based decision support. So, uh, healthcare is though is a very important in the society, needs very badly proper support, and the technologically revolution is there, and adoption also day by day is increasing, but the rural area is seeing only 10% of uh, witnessing the support system. So it's coming to your idea and your expertise, Mr. Venkatesh. Can you share a few lines how we can expand this system to the penetration to the rural area, as well as the adoption of the technology which can save the common life and which will address the challenge of the society?
Thank you, Mr. Naik, and good afternoon to our honorable respected delegates and dignitaries on the dais. Uh, when you talk about healthcare, uh, it's slightly different from what discussions we've had throughout the day. All these stalwarts talking about technology, AI-induced digitization around the digital landscape. We are a little behind, but we are somehow there. Healthcare is also gradually evolving in the digital landscape, and a lot of activities which are happening around healthcare. One of the key parts here is the remote monitoring system and accessibility for healthcare from remote areas, because ultimately what is happening is people in the rural areas get deprived of quality care because of accessibility, which is not so in the tier 1, tier 2 cities. So when we talk about uh, quality of care, there are three essential elements in quality of care. One is accessibility, as we're going to talk about that. And the second is the quality of clinical care as an outcome. And third is timeliness in terms of that care, which also decide on the outcomes. When we talk about accessibility, there are various tools, a few of the tools which have already been practiced in healthcare, that is telemedicine, which has been one of the most tested ones during the crisis time of COVID, video consultations during the crisis time of COVID, even before that, and even now. It's the most tried and tested, where patients from the remotest areas can access healthcare. Second is the mobile-based care. Today, more than 84% of the population of 1.5 billion uh, are using mobile phones, and more than 60% of them are using smartphones, where you are in a position to get the mobile apps functioning. All the healthcare providers have advanced themselves in such a way that there are mobile apps which can be downloaded. These apps will help you book appointments, teleconsultations. These apps are designed in such a way that they can store medical records of the patient, so the patient doesn't need to carry thick file with him anywhere he goes. There are also chances that if somebody misses out on files when they are going somewhere, but seldom you find someone who does not carry a mobile phone with him or forgets a mobile phone. So all the patient files are available, patient data is available on the mobile app. Similarly, when it comes to video consultation, taking appointments and doing video consultations at any point of time with any doctor from any remote part of the country or any remote part of the state is possible through this. So this is also one way in which we can do that. I'm just wanting to ask one simple question. Uh, Nobody needs to get into a hospital unless there is a crisis. I'm only hoping nobody gets into it. But when you get into a hospital, how many of you have ever explored an option of a mobile phone to take a consultation, or how many of you, if a kiosk is available in a hospital, have utilized the kiosk? And how many of you have just gone queuing in a counter with 10 people ahead of you, waiting for the billing to be done, waiting for the payments to be done? I don't think there'll be too many answers saying, yes, I am using a mobile phone, a mobile app for it. That's a solution. So it's like, one is you provide the services in terms of mobile applications, and it is also like how you adopt to those services to make sure that the accessibility is there. Today, when a rickshawala uses a mobile phone, I had seen one of the dignitaries talking about it. You have UPIs even on a pawn shop. So that's a level of that's a level in which technology has evolved. So it's a question of how you even adopt to those to overcome accessibility rather than what has been provided. So it's, one is providing, and second is accessibility. Second is when we talk about quality of clinical care. Uh, there are clinical decision support systems in which is again an AI induced one, which is there, which can be interfaced with any hospital management software. And these systems obviously can enable doctors to ensure that they give the right treatment for the right outcome in terms of setting clinical pathways for the course of treatment, which gives alerts at every stage to a doctor as to how treatment has to be done. Uh, if there are patients with similar type of disease management across in the setup, how a comparison can be done for the right outcomes. So these are technologies which can be actually adopted even in the remote part of the country, because these are simple apps which adds on to your software, and you can access it from remote areas if a doctor is going to go and treat a patient in the rural area. So these are methodologies to which you can enhance the quality of care and reach the remotest part of the district, state, country to provide treatment. And because of all these technologies, accessibility and timeliness in terms of care is much, much faster than what it is before. So it's, one is to provide the service, and second is to embrace the technology and take advantage of this to overcome accessibility issues. That is what it is. Yeah.
Thank you. So for this entire driven, actually, the government is open-handed, supporting to the entire ecosystem. We have from the center side, we have the policy, as well as from the state. Almost all the state having the startup policy, and they are giving different type of incentive support to the startup industry. So looking to this government side, actually, startup as well as the MSME or the mid-segment company, they are all working in the startup activities, and they are working in different technologically domain and different niche ideas, and they are trying to solve this problem uh, of the society challenges. So I'm talking to Mr. Sengupta. How you think about the already India is as a conductive environment for the MSME and can create a embrace technology and leverage it potentially for growth, efficiency, and competitiveness. Or what? How you are thinking about the ecosystem is required, or it is already we are in um, have the proper ecosystem where startup can grow further.
First of all, good afternoon to the audience. Just happened to notice maybe only 5% have are actually looking at the stage. Okay. And first of all, big thank you for ICC for having me here. And this is an interesting question because I come from TCS, which possibly falls into extra large category with 600,000 workforce. And the question is on micro, small, medium business segment. But probably I will share my perspectives. It may not be factfully accurate, but this is what I think based on my understanding. Number one is, yes, there are a lot of government initiatives, both at the central level and at the state level, to help the MSME ecosystem, and also to different initiatives, again at both central and state level, to promote startup community. Lot of industry forums are supporting. But if I look at the challenge of an MSME, and it is not only in India, globally, the productivity of MSMEs are much lesser than a large enterprise. Okay, and this is data. We have been talking about data, and the data says in India it is 1/4 efficiency that the MSMEs operate. Now, to simplify that or to dissect this challenge, beyond whatever is happening at the by the central government or the state government or the industry forums or at a different community level, I think the key fact is the startup community can help the SMB segment in enhancing the productivity. Okay, now what do I mean by that is like if the MSME comes up with a local problem statement, which is local to the community or the area that they are from. So first important thing is to have a local problem statement. Now, when you have a local problem statement for which you have people or the market available to you, which probably help you in sustain and survive, then the second factor is to be competitive. I need to achieve high productivity, and that is where the technology, the startups, from a tech point of view, can help enhancing that productivity on a practical basis. Now, obviously, then there are other problem statements like you need access to market. Okay, whatever products you are having that has to be sold, and again, I think the previous panelist mentioned that we do come across a lot of startups where there are excellent ideas, and the Indians are famous for their jugaad mentality. So we do come across with a lot of ideas, but we are not great in executing that idea. Okay, and that is also fact. So execution is important, and like at the startup with quantum computing, it was mentioned they burn 15 crores in 18 months. Where is the business plan for the startup? Okay, end of the day, to be to sustain, to survive, you need to have a solid business plan. You need to know how you are going to make money from your product or from your service offerings, and that is where I believe that the startup MSMEs, if they are uh, actively mentored by competent people, can come from industry, can come from different other segments, but they have to understand how to survive and how to make money out of this. And I will just take one practical example. Some of you may be aware that Tata Group has a social enterprise uh, all India competition that is run every year. Okay, and just give an example. Last year, pan India, there were more than 16,000 startups. Now those are social startups. Okay, they competed uh, in that last year's event, and ultimately it brings down to last 10, last 20, whatever it is. Now I had the advantage or fortunate enough to be a jury member of those semi-final and the final rounds. What come across there, so obviously they are the last 20 of the 16,000 candidates. Okay, absolutely brilliant ideas. They come from different segments. I think we talked about it earlier. Many of them are from tier 2, tier 3 places where you really probably don't expect that the young kids to come up with that kind of ideas. Not from famous institutes. Yes, there are people from IIT Madras and other institutes as well, but not all of them are from IITs and IIMs. But absolutely fantastic social cause idea to a social problem, which is very relevant to the communities they stay. But when they are presenting their case, where they struggle to explain is what is how the product will be sold in the market. Okay, what is the ROI on that? Many of them even have not heard the word ROI. Okay, I think that's a major gap for the young starters who are jumping into startup and with fantastic ideas. They need real handholding. I think some of the senior industry veterans can come forward and provide that support to help them understand how to manage a business. Because end of the day, they will not survive unless they can achieve that.
That's true. Actually, there is a lot of idea is roaming around this country, but the thing is they need the proper support. They need the proper mentor support. They need the proper ecosystem support. Then only things will be improved. And that's the reason we have witnessed many startup fails actually. That is the only reason, because they don't get proper opportunity to explore their brain and their ideas and their thought. Because that is the reason actually government is creating the ecosystem and trying to support the ecosystem, and all the several ministries have different policy to support the ecosystems, and startup are getting benefited, but still we need to do lot. Thank you. So coming to again the healthcare sector, Mr. Venkatesh, I think health sector is a very prominent area where there is a lot of opportunity for this to explore the uh, technologically adoption as well as the opportunity in this segment. Particularly, it has been seen that almost 366 billion of market is there in the particular in the health sector side. So there is a lot of opportunity for the startup industry to involve in particularly domain, and they should adopt the technologies and start something so that our entire globe will be helpful on that. So connection to this actually, can you tell me something about the um, treatment planning, drug discovery, patient monitoring? These are the area how can startup can contribute themselves with the adoption of the new technology.
When healthcare is also evolving digitally, there are a lot of startups which are actually partnering with healthcare to provide care in a symbiotic way. Um, uh, Startups obviously need to have a proper synergy with big service providers, big industries, to make sure that they have that level. Like my earlier respected speaker told, that the support is required for the startups to make sure they mature in the industry. So if they have a proper synergized relation with big industries and providers, they'll be in a position to develop themselves over a period of time and get more visibility in terms of how they can conduct themselves. When it comes to healthcare, I can say there are few such initiatives which we have done, and a lot of these healthcare providers are also doing. Like for example, uh, uh, say Niramai Technologies, clubbing with them, you do early breast cancer screening in the remotest part of any state, any district, where the maximum screenings are done in advance, and moment the detection is done well in advance, the treatment and the eventual outcomes are much more accurate and much better. It makes a big change. So this is a startup which actually synergizes with industry providers, healthcare providers, to make sure that they grow up. Similarly, there are pilot which we do with ICU focused startups like DGO, where the patient vitals are monitored and uploaded in the system to be monitored on a regular basis, like the BPs, the respiratory rates, the SpO2, and things like that. So these are startups. If they are able to kind of work together with the hospitals, they'll be in a position to get more visibility. Similarly, there are more such startups like uh, the hospitals partner with companies like Aldun to improve patient discharge processes, so that there is no waiting time after a doctor says the patient is ready to go home. Generally, what happens, we've seen in hospitals that it takes 5 to 6 hours for a patient to go out of the setup. So how efficiently you can manage the discharges, they take advantage. They take the responsibility to settle all the bills, and the patient moves from the time they've been told to move out of the hospital. So this is one which can be worked on. Similarly, for us, we have also partnered with various uh, energy companies like Atria Wind Power, Shares Energy One, to improve renewable energy footprint and reduce cost of energy. We've also partnered with various startups on electronic medical records. And one of our respected dignitaries also spoke about fintech, There's one company which is called as the Five, which helps in providing loans to patient if they have to settle, if they're not in a position to pay the bills instantly. That is interest-free, zero interest loans advance, so that they can pay in time and get discharged. So these are startups where the healthcare service providers are actually kind of working together in a symbiotic way to make sure that the end purpose of healthcare, which is patient satisfaction and best quality of care, is also achieved. And at the same time, even the startups get that visibility and recognition for them to develop and mature in future.
Thank you. Uh, like the vehicles in the abroad market, they have all the clear database. While we're going to purchase one second-hand vehicle, then they will find the records from the authorized service center completely. No need to go here and there, right? So similarly, health sector also, they have adopted the technology. Every human being having their own records of the health side also. So connected to this, actually, we are also thinking how can be this health sector can be leverage this technology, and they can adopt this system so that the patient now demanding the technology and transparency information. Actually, transparency information, they should require actually uh, information by click of their bottom in their laptop or their mobile, right? So in this context, actually, how that startup can play a role for the technological adoption, and also leverage this platform to reach to the end user, so that particularly the information will reach in the right time and in the appropriate manner, right? Mr. Sengupta, can you tell something about this?
Okay, so before I get into specific health industry examples that I understand, I think from the morning we have been talking about AI, ML, agentic AI, data, and lot of stuff. But my experience interacting with our global customers across industries is AI is still very much in the drawing board. Okay, when I say AI in the drawing board, our customers are exploring AI use cases, but those use cases to start with, which brings in, obviously, they are managing a business, they're looking at ROI, which will bring in immediate efficiency. So right now, AI is more focused on efficiency improvement across the operation. There are serious AI use cases which are getting, and again, then the next big thing is the customer engagement, the personalization of customer information across industries. Okay, and then yes, people are doing pilot, they are doing proof of concepts on some real industry intense use cases which will probably create the differentiation for them. Okay, but not many are in production as yet. Okay, they are looking at the use case, they are looking at the data sanctity, they are looking at the guardrails. Okay, and then they are trying to measure the ROI, and then it is very much in discussion but not many in production. Now coming to health, the same way, if I look at the health sector, health 3.0 as it is called today, health 3.0, you have some very quick wins. Okay, now for all of us, suppose I am looking for a specialist, getting that information itself is a big task. Okay, like who are the orthopedics, the ophthalmologist in my neighborhood. Okay, what is their availability, what time they are available in the nearby hospital. Gathering this information itself is a quite a time consuming process. Okay, normally we call up our friends and then they may have some friends, and we gathered that information. So there are use cases like this, that availability of the specialist, putting the appointment with them, is an app can do it if the data can be aggregated. Okay, so and there is no life being threatened by providing that information or managing through that app. Then obviously there is a lot of focus on patient personalization. Okay. And again, in the care industry, the follow-up process can be we can use AI, we can use IoTs to gather data whether the people are following up, maintaining their medicines, not maintaining their medicines, uh, passing on alerts. All those things can be easily done, and that is getting done. Okay. Now, then there are some serious topics in drug discovery. Okay. It is being experimented. People are using it. There are pattern recognition and all those things in drug discovery. It is happening. Some of the leading large enterprises are doing that. So not everybody can operate in that scale, because here the investment would be high, the scale would be of significant value. Okay. So, but then there are a lot of startups, and again, I was referring to my own experience in this image analysis, computer vision, comparing the different X-ray plates, and sometimes they can be more accurate than the doctor themselves. Okay, so there are, if I just look at the industry per se in Health 3.0, there are layers of I would say the customer touch points or patient touch points where AI ML can have a significant role to play. Some of them are less capital intensive, some of them are less uh, life threatening areas to start with, and that is where possibly the investment will come first. And once that has been achieved and the technology have matured enough, data has been secured enough, then probably it will go for the next level of journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sengupta. So we are actually running shortage of time. So there is a hint for closing this session. So one more session is still all are waiting for that. So thank you for yeah.
Before concluding, just to add on to what Monojita mentioned, in this entire scenario, what we need to keep in mind is that the observation plays a key role. So in one of our healthcare system, what we witnessed was the startup was given to analyze what are the opportunities that you have in that particular large hospital chain. So what they did was they observed the surgical procedures which are taking a longer time. And why are they taking? Is it only because of the intervention of the specialists which is taking a lot of time, or there are something else? And they figured out that the hospital supplies that comes for that particular surgery first comes to the hospital storage, and then during that surgery it is being stacked up and put up into the surgery room, and it is not ordered and organized the way the surgeon is requiring it. And once that information is there and observation was done, what they did was they had created a simple system through which the surgeons can actually order the things that they require in that order. And in the morning of that surgery, that is directly delivered to that surgeon's team so that it is arranged properly and the time has been brought down. Now, utilizing this understanding, now the system has started utilizing AI as a capability so that this can be provided as an information to other surgeons as well, and how the surgeons are picking it up, the recommendations can happen. I think this is the observational layer is also very important. What is happening is we are utilizing whatever we are seeing and picking it up from the AI scenario, but rather if we start observing, we can create systems which can be pioneering and can be meaningful to the neighborhood as well. That is very important.
Thank you, Mr. Basu. You want to add
Before concluding on the startup thing, I share a different opinion. That's why I just wanted to think. First of all, stop sympathizing the startup. Okay, so that's a very bad thing because nobody will buy things because of sympathy, and no startup can grow with sympathy. Okay, so our mindset has to say that it's a policy support. Like we have a policy support, startup is a policy support, nothing more, nothing less. And most of the companies, may not be everyone, but most of the companies at some point of time, they were MSME. Okay, so forget about saying that MSME is inefficient. They are not for efficiency, they are for opportunity. They have to do something, they will be efficient when they become big. Okay, so this is my observation. And the third observation is that, now in entire countries, entrepreneurship development is going on. And we have so many engineering colleges. What is the product? without doing the product development, what will be the, as Mr. Shengupta sir was saying also, means that we are very poor in execution. Because we do not have this product ecosystem, product development process. How do you execute? We will have to rely on, the Jugaad. So that is why I correct that my foundation name is Scholar Lab Foundation. We are saying that we do not want to bring any entrepreneur. We want to develop product. And everybody with the support of, because in, see IIT, because I come from IIT, I know that in IIT, there will be no product coming from IIT. It's extremely sorrow picture because IIT cannot produce product. They will produce technology and most of the technologies will remain with the professor. But so much work, so much good works remain with the IITs because nobody knows how to make a product. Okay, so that is the reason we need product development process and then going to entrepreneurship development. Thank you very much. That's the thing I wanted to cover.
Thank you, thank you. So it's a mixed reaction from your side. Actually, there is no point of sympathy and all. The startup actually come with their actually innovative idea. So we are talking about to support from government, from in the eco side, from the systems. Actually, we try to support them to reach to their next level. And startups actually normally we have witnessed it is a young entrepreneurs, so they need the ecosystem support because they don't have funding support, they don't have infrastructure support, so we need all the way to including the mentoring support. So it's nothing that came startup come with everything like they have fund, they have infrastructure, they have technical brain, they have all the facilities. So that is the reason actually we are all today here, and they are coming with a very niche idea and with the great technologies and how they can collaborate all to reach to their next level. That is the point of discussion. So I did thank you for everybody to joining in this session, and we're running shortage of time, so there is no need of further the validity program. So sessions of analysis of this entire the discussion was happened. So thank you to all the speaker and this panelist over here in this panel. Thank you for sharing your view and thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manjeet Naik. Thank you so much for moderating the session. May I also request you to present our panelists with a small little memento on behalf of ICC? Yes, Mr. Venkatesh R., please. Mr. Robin Ray. Mr. Arnob Basu. Mr. Manojit Sengupta. And I'd like to take the pleasure to present a memento to Mr. Manjeet Naik, please, on behalf of ICC. So we just have the last session. I know that you're all very tired, but this session is known as the Quantum Leap. So I would like to present this session, and for that I'd like to call upon the moderator of this session, Mr. Abhijit Roy, who is a committee member of ICC National Expert Committee on Technology, Innovation and Advancement. May I also call upon Mr. Onubroto Chakraborty, Head Collaboration at TCG Crest, to please come on the stage for discussion in this panel. Dr. Sumit Mishra, Chief Technology Officer and Head of Innovation, RS Software, please come up on the dais for this panel. Mr. Shoykot Basu, Quantum Computing Research Lead, LM Mindtree Research. May I request you to please come up on stage to conclude our last session. I think you can climb up. Okay, the name, that's okay. That's going to keep on coming. You may. You will take the, Mr. Abhijit Roy will take the seat here. You may please sit here. Yes. And then wherever you sit will be your name tags in front. I'm just trying to add a little humor to the last session. Thank you. And the session is commencing. Quantum Leap, Unlocking the Next Era of Technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Indian Chamber of Commerce, and everybody in the panel. So we'll try and make it as short and crisp and exciting as possible. I can see the audience has already left, most of the audience. Now, I I come from the northern parts of the city, North Calcutta as it called. So I'm a North Calcutta boy, come from the lanes and by lanes. So in our locality, we in the winters, from the autumns and the winters, we have something called a function, Jalsha, or a concert. So every winter there is a concert, and at times, the concerts are very well organized, and they used to invite. We used to invite. I mean, artists like Kishore Kumar, Manna De, who's a neighbor, okay, and Hemant Kumar Mukherjee. So, and these artists, the stars of the show, they used to come at the end of the show, so that the average is over, and you keep them for the end of the show. So these are my Hemant Kumars, Kishore Kumars, and Manna Des. So these are the Hemant Kumars, Manna Des, and the stars of our show. Okay, so I had prepared a questionnaire, and we had gone through several rounds of preparatory things. But what I found in the earlier conversations, in the earlier panels, that there is a lot of skepticism about quantum. So I'll move a little bit away from the prepared questionnaire, and I will throw something at the panelists, and you may pick which you want to answer. I have been associated with the technology industry since 1997-98, having started my career with Computer Associates. And I had met Raj in the 90s, late 90s, when he was setting up the first center in Salt Lake. And AI, we noticed, so technology we noticed was that needs three things to come together. So Amitabh always says that, the use cases maturity, that is very, very important. Well, some of the technologies don't take off because of lack of use case maturity. So three things must come together for any technology to take off. One is that the technology reliability level. It has to be the TRL, as we call it. It has to be around 9.5, 9, 8. Then it starts maturing. The other is the economic viability of it, finance of it, affordability. Technology must be affordable. And the third is the use case maturity. When these three forces come together, we see a technology take off. In the case of AI, we noticed AI was actually, the term came out in 1956 in the Dartmouth conference when the term was first used. Okay. Since then, it took almost 65 years for the technology to mature. Okay. And if you go back further, Alan Turing in 1926 had spoken about machines that can think like humans and things like that. Right? So now, why did AI mature around 28 to 2010? Because three things. One is data availability. Mobile became available, huge amount of data was generated. Cloud became mature because data was stored in cloud. And compute power was available. Very large amount of compute power available. I can see Monojit nodding, so I'm right. Huh? I'm not a techie. So these three things converged and AI took off. So my question to this panel is what are those three forces, three or four forces, whatever it is you describe, that needs to come together for quantum to mature? Okay. Quantum, to me, when I heard about the term quantum and entanglement, etc., these terms came, I thought it was very romantic. Entanglement in my teenage years was something very romantic. You got entangled and things like that, etc., etc. But anyway, we'll not get into the technology, but we'll get into the business part of it. What are the forces that need to converge for quantum to become a reality. Okay, from theoretical use cases to practical case studies. What are the three things? Sumit, floor is yours.
Hello. So, very good question. What I think is as first, as you mentioned, that it took several years for AI to mature into an use case level. People need to understand how to use the quantum computing technology. So, like multiple uh, candles cannot replace an electric bulb because they are two technologies apart. So you cannot map whatever we have and being solving the problem using the digital computer is map it directly into quantum computing and it will get solved. It's not that linear mapping that can happen. It's a very different form of thing. So I think the first out of the three, first is people realizing what type of problems is good for using in computing, quantum computing, and apply that to the particular solution.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Before I get into the detail a little bit regarding the entanglement thing that you, even Einstein said, like we'll discuss about that spooky thing that is happening at a distance at a later date. And now people are blaming Einstein and Niels Bohr and saying that they pushed us back 30 years in research. What Sumit mentioned is absolutely correct. Like, first thing is the problem statement. What are we trying to solve? How many of us have used the compute power of a supercomputer or HPC, high performance computing, that is available right now, right? And what is the algorithm that can run on, that can be efficiently run on a quantum computer at a later date or even now to some extent, which cannot be run in supercomputer? What are we trying to solve? So for example, by virtue of being in a research institute where I think we are the only private research institute in India who has installed a physical quantum computer, and as we speak, we are installing 6 qubits. 1 qubit is already installed, and we are installing another 5 qubits. Prior to that, the algorithms we ran on supercomputers. So we are creating some algorithms which take 4 to 5 days to run in supercomputers. If I do a throwback, when I graduated in mid-90s in computer science, that time also we had AI, right? We didn't used to call that AI. So we had neural networks. We had projects in neural networks. We had machines which were like 386 machines with 640 kilobyte of RAM. And we'll run an algorithm over there and we'll go and have fun and come back after 3 or 4 days and see that the algorithm has failed, and we'll run it again. And at some point in time, at the end of the semester, we'll submit a paper saying that we tried to run the algorithm. So quantum computing is exactly, in India at least, is exactly at that stage right now. So what we are doing with computing and with algorithms is that, like, we are going to AWS, we are going to Google or going to IBM and using quantum computer and cloud. When you go to that level of computing, you do not even actually care whether it is running a quantum computer or running a high performance computer or a supercomputer at the back end. You are trying to solve a problem. You have written an algorithm. You're trying to see how fast that algorithm can be implemented on a system that is provided to you. But as we see, there are certain domains which are evolving, which are there, and where we are sensing that the quantum is going to be the need of the hour. I'll just give an example and pass it to Shoykot. We are approached by a very big industry recently, and they are into mining, heavy duty mining.
And as you understand that in the quantum space, the biggest challenge from the physics point of view has been the synchronization of clocks, right? So two clocks never synchronize. That is the fundamental of relativity that Einstein came up with. So that becomes a very critical problem, especially in the space of mining or any mission critical program, satellite launch or anything of that sort. So this company is like investing in atomic clocks with quantum sensing and all, where they can get as close as possible to synchronization of the clock that will be there down under with the clock that is outside. And that can save lives. So with that I'll pass on to Soikot. Soikot, he's from the services industry who are using algos like anything and share it.
Okay, first of all, thank you, ICC, for inviting. And so now let's come to the point. So, how the quantum, so we are talking about quantum adoption, right? So, there are first thing that is the hardware maturity, definitely. So, currently we have to wait for a couple of days to 3 days to run our programs because it is not because of the compute time. It is because only few handful of hardware available in the market, and I think around 20 to 30 entire world, and total number of users could be around few thousands, and our jobs gets into queue, and we have to wait for 2 to 3 days. First challenge is this. The other challenge is so quantum computers are probabilistic, and another problem is there are noise in the quantum system. In the present version of the system is pretty noisy, so you need a lot of scale in the number of qubits, which is presently around 150 or so. So you need million number of qubit to solve some sort of an impactful problems. So there were some challenges earlier. Now I guess mm, last few months I can see some of the research papers are coming from the experimentalists, and it seems that they have solved it. And based on that, I think in the last month, IBM, who is a key player in the hardware space, they have published their roadmap. So they are claiming that we'll be having 200 logical qubit, which is the error corrected and efficient qubits by 2029. So now the question comes that what sort of application can we target with that 200 logical qubits? So application could be around anything, but with 200 logical qubits, if we want to beat classical computer, we are talking about beating the classical computer, because the goal is to beat classical computers in certain cases, in maybe some chemistry based simulation or some molecular dynamic simulation. So these are the cases we are targeting, and we are expecting to beat it by next year or so, next couple of years mostly. So with 2029, with 200 logical qubits, I think the most favorable application area would be drug discovery in the industry, where the circuit sizes are usually not that large, but it is impactful and intractable for classical computers. So this is one application area in the definite case. Other one which is possible, but I don't know whether it is the right point of time for the industry to adopt, that is quantum machine learning, because only machine learning itself people are trying to adopt now. So I'm talking about quantum machine learning, which is again a leap ahead, I guess. So quantum machine learning, which is something which can be adopted, and with these smaller number of things. So if we talk about the other applications, then optimization based use cases are always there, can be solved, but I don't think that with 200 logical qubit by 2029 we can solve it. But the if we go beyond in the roadmap, that is in 2033, they are claiming that they will have 2000 logical qubits, with which one major industry, or not industry sector, I'd say the entire industry is at stake, because the Short's algorithm will be implemented with that. So our entire security system will be vulnerable. In 2033, we can think of. So I think just one line to add that everybody should be prepared for that with PQCs or quantum communication, whatever it takes to avoid quantum attacks. Yeah, I think.
So that at least we have a timeline that from 2029 onwards, for the next 2 to 3 years, we can expect to see quantum becoming a reality. So I did a lot of preparation for this panel because honestly I didn't know anything about quantum. So I thought that yeah, honestly, and this is the centenary year of Indian Chamber. This is also 100 years of quantum mechanics, which is why United Nations has called this year the year of the quantum. Okay, so that's a fantastic coincidence actually. So while studying quantum, I found out that the easiest metaphor was that you have a home with 5 or 6 rooms, and you lost your key. And the classical computer would go into each room to find the key, while the quantum system would go into all the rooms at the same time, and will that's the look at all possibilities, and zero in on the probability of which room has the key. Am I right or wrong? Right.
Yes.
Okay, I've scored. So that's the difference between classical computing and quantum computing. Now, what does this mean? This means for the cyber security industry, which the first thing that comes to mind and the first thing you keep reading is that they are going to bulldoze into your passwords. So they're going to break because they're going to find out all these ways simultaneously to crack your code. And I believe that um, Onubrato is his company is working on something called the unbreakable code. Could you explain what is that?
It's not unbreakable in a sense. Nothing is unbreakable. That
Okay.
Let me be absolutely clear. So if you are creating something, a quantum algorithm, writing a quantum algorithm, someone else is writing another quantum algorithm to crack that. So that you do not know when it is going to hit you. So what there are, it's as Shoykot rightly mentioned, in 7 to 8 years, you might start seeing these all security, standard security, classical security codes getting attacked, right? Because these are unknowns. So in order to prepare for that, what people are doing these days is that they're using classical algorithms to address the probable quantum algorithm hits. That is the most acceptable solution in the industry, because everything else comes with a hardware cost, and the industry is not yet prepared, especially the financial industry is not yet prepared to absorb that kind of a cost. So with my personal experience, I was talking to one of the top 3 private sector banks and trying to actually sell them a project on which is called a post-quantum and quantum key distribution and post-quantum thing. And after a few iterations, they came back and said that, see, your real problem is non-performing assets of our clients. So, which is true. But at the same time, like it depends on the priority. We are talking about 6 qubits here. CDAC is talking about 50 qubits. TIFR has 7 qubits. And Oxford is talking about 1,000 qubits. So if you go to Europe and UK, Europe, and the US, they are already preparing for this kind of unknown impacts. But a post-quantum classical computing, which is done by standard Python programming, but the way you develop the framework is different, and that can do a lot of good for you from a cyber security point of view.
Sumit, I see RS Software has a standee there, which says
Right.
46% of the global real-time payments volume in 2023 processed on platforms built by RS Software.
Right.
How vulnerable are you?
Right. So, as Anubrato mentioned, that we are trying to use classical encryption in a way that is hardened enough to at least offset the initial onslaught of the quantum encryption breaking algorithms. So, we are using quantum safe encryptions in all our products that we are right now catering to or bringing to the market. And probably this is going to be the pathway, and it is going to impact the industry the way almost the Y2K hit, because all the encryptions that are there, both in the hardware, which is, I'm talking about the routers and all, and also on the software, especially the financial and the private information captures, they need to be re-encoded in a way so that the quantum cannot break it, at least the initial days. We don't know the future of it. But that transformation from classical to quantum safe computing, quantum safe encryption, is going to be something that is a big thing that's going to come. And our products, we are using some of those algorithms which are already available in the market for quantum safe encryptions.
So quantum safe seems like another Y2K moment for India.
Probably.
Probably is. Soikat, I mean, there's a question for you. Is that I'm hearing of the prepared text? Is that he's going quantum safe? He's trying to create products which are quantum safe, trying to prevent them from being broken. What is the intermediary stage? I hear that hybrid quantum is something that is taking over while people are waiting for the quantum machines to become powerful enough to handle those kind of transactions. Intermediary is hybrid computer. JP Morgan is using it. Maersk is using it for finding routes to bypass the supply chain constraint. Bayer is using it for drug discovery. So could you explain to the audience that the intermediary stage of hybrid computing, what it is and what kind of case studies are we getting? And not use cases, but are we getting case studies from it?
Okay, so at present, whatever quantum computing we're talking about, they are mostly hybrid in this nature. So some part of the computing is done in quantum, and some part of the processing is done in classical. Suppose if there is any hard part in the computation, we choose to do it in the quantum system, and we get the outcome, and rest of the processing is done in classical. So this kind of architecture is now been followed for, let's say, 5-6 years or so, and majority of the use cases what people are seeing currently in the quantum, they are based on these hybrid algorithms only. So this is the one part of it. Another part of it, which is very popular in, I think, last 1 or 2 year, is quantum centric supercomputers. So I think Riken, which is a very popular supercomputing center in Japan, they are collaborating with IBM, Fujitsu. So they are collaborating with them, and who are popular quantum developers, quantum hardware developers, and they are trying to make a chip which is kind of a hybrid architecture with them. And some part of the computation will be done on classical supercomputers, some part of the computation will be done on quantum computers. So one myth I think I should be breaking, that quantum computer will never come on like our laptops or mobiles. It will be like supercomputers sitting on a distant far and will be accessing through cloud. So it will be, the architecture will be like that only. So whatever this kind of developments are there, so whatever use case, whatever case study, suppose I can mention one or two. So since payments were mentioned, so I think one of the very renowned case study which was done by HSBC, and they performed their transaction fraud detection using quantum machine learning. So and they published it, and the results were quite promising, but still with the present hardware they couldn't scale. But since the hardware is maturing, we are expecting that it would perform a lot better.
Fantastic. So this answer actually tallies with what Amitabh was saying during lunch, that eventually we will have one computer, a quantum computer for the rest of the world. And everybody through the cloud will access it and use its powers. Do you think that's a sci-fi or a sci reality? Sci-fact.
So I think it is not a sci-fi. It's probably possible. The only difference is that the socio-economic and geopolitical things will drive building multiple computers. And like we have GDPR, where the data is local, maybe the processing will start becoming local, with like every country having one computer, big countries having one computers shared by the entire domestic people using it. But it may not be one computer globally, though the power is possible, but it's a geopolitical which will drive it in a different way. That's my opinion.
That's an interesting point. This is the last question. I won't keep you back. The front row people don't have any choice, so they'll have to sit. So anyway, so is it okay? I hope so. Now this brings us to the geopolitical aspect. So I was reading a book, The Quantum Supremacy by Michio Kaku. So is quantum going to be the next nuclear war? Question to Anubruto, followed by Saikat, who can take over, and finally we end with Sumit, and that will be the curtain drop.
No, it's
You're happy? No, one question for Raj.
so it's going to be of that scale. There is no doubt in my mind, at least. It's going to be in that scale. It's happening. The small wars are happening in other areas, like especially in healthcare and chemistry and all. And I would that is when Amitabh mentioned that it will be a very large one quantum computer sitting somewhere nobody needs to know. I would like that to happen at some point in time so that we can get China onboarded on that quantum computer also. Because the experience that we have, it's a geopolitical thing, is that from my personal experience, I'm saying that we almost came up with a novel chemistry 1 year back. Almost. We are about to publish a paper and it would have gone to Nature, definitely. 2 months while we are writing it, and just 2 months before the target date, there is a publication from China exactly in the similar line. So we had to drop that. So you do not know who is building that big quantum computer. We hear from IBM, we hear from other companies because they are sharing their data. But definitely one big quantum computer in a cluster, and around which the countries will align. That is how it is going to look like in the map, on the map.
Saikat, take a stab at that question.
Okay, so I think what Honorable sir mentioned, which is really, I will kind of second to that. But just to add to that, I think in India, I think I think last week, I think Andhra Pradesh announced their Quantum Valley, and they are also claiming that they are bringing one quantum computer in India, which will be, I think, third or fourth quantum computer in India. So early, I think 2021 or so, when IBM used to launch their quantum hardware with some of the cities' name attached to it. So one quantum computer came in 2021, which was named IBM Kolkata. So I got very excited that where it is. So I kind of asked some of the colleagues in IBM who are working. So they mentioned that it is not in Kolkata; it is in New York, just named after Kolkata. So after that, sometimes later, I think TCG brought one quantum computer, So which is very fascinating, definitely. But yeah, we have to keep up to the race, definitely. When people are talking about 150, so we has to be at least at the below par 100. So that is the race we should be having. And also we should be like, when people are developing 200 qubit, 500 qubit quantum computers, so the application also needs to focus, and we have to focus on the algorithms which can be ran on those quantum hardwares, and we can get tangible benefit out of it. Okay.
So, I mean, this brings us almost to the curtain call of this event, the last year. So, we have decided that, listening to the skepticism in the earlier panel about quantum, the reality of whether it's going to be happening or not. Now, here we have a timeline, at least 2029 to 2023, something is going to come up and happen. We know the kind of qubits that they are talking about. We know the use cases will become case studies by which they will happen, the industries which will be impacted. So we have a fair idea about what's going to happen. So we've decided, the panel discussions usually don't come up with an outcome. So we decided that we'll be a little different. We'll have an outcome. So we have decided that we'll create a club called the Quantum Collective. The Quantum Collective, you see the 4 members here, and anybody is welcome to join. It's a talk shop, where our whole objective will be to keep talking about the developments that are happening, the real developments, not the hype around it. There's a lot of hype around technology. So somebody said that it goes through phases. The initial excitement, the Gartner cycle that it goes through. So AI, we see now going through that same cycle. So there is a lot of disillusionment around AI. It's not giving out the outcomes that the investments have been gone into it. Stakeholders expect quick returns, and that's not happening. So there's a lot of skepticism. Quantum will also go through that. The initial phase of Vivekananda's word is that the ridicule, acceptance, etc. So it's going through. That's the Gartner hype cycle in Vivekananda's words. So we'll see the same thing. So to counter that and to be realistic about the projections, we have decided to create the Quantum Collective. Everybody here who wants to contribute, and contribute means not money, contribute your thoughts and join it. We'll have this discussion going. We'll create a platform. We'll share information. We'll write about it, the use cases, the case studies, and how this is going to transform certain industries. And at the same time, the risks that is going to come into its place. And thank you for being such a patient audiences. Some of you don't have a choice. The ICC people, they don't have a choice. So they're here. The front benchers don't have a choice. So they're here. He's parked into the hotel. He wants to visit a religious place tomorrow, so he doesn't have a choice anyway. But anyway, thanks for being so patient and listening to us, and thanks to the panel members for making it so exciting. The last request: Raj Jain here in the 90s was the first company to come up in Salt Lake Sector 5. Okay, and he was the one who imported that IBM mainframe. Was it 390? And that was the first IBM computer to come after George Fernandez had banned both IBM and Coca-Cola. So I had interviewed him then and done a report in the Economic Times. When I was in my earlier avatar, I used to be a journalist. Okay, so I had done this exclusive story and asked him who is going to service it. He says that TCS is going to service this. And then the IBM's entry was via TCS by servicing his computer. So that is the re-entry of IBM. Raj, when are we going to see a quantum machine in your RS software?
So, Abhijit, first of all, compliments to you. Compliments to you for conducting this brilliant session with journalism genius. You are absolutely to it. So, since you met RS Software at its inception, and in our corporate journey at RS Software, we have come from 500 transactions per second of payments, approaching very close within the next few months to 250,000 transactions per second. 250,000. And that's not easy, right? So, and we've done all of this with classical computing. right? I am confident the man head of our innovation, and he's been through the entire journey, that whatever technologies are available, quantum or no quantum, quantum collective will do very well. I'm positive, and we will adopt whatever technology to go from quarter of a million to a billion when it comes to it. And for that, my logic tells me as of now, we will end up needing quantum technology. All right. I hope I answered your question. Absolutely. Thank you very much for making.
Thank you. And this is the curtain call. And thank you for being so patient. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
So before you get ready to step down, I request you to do the honors of please giving away. That's okay. Still, your panelists deserve mementos. Okay. Can I just have the mementos, please? I'd request Mr. Roy, as session moderator, to give a mementos to Mr. Anubrata Chakraborty, please. Dr. Sumit Mishra, Mr. Saikat Basu, and from ICC to Mr. Roy. So with this, we come to the end of the session. I'd just like to take the opportunity once again to thank you for being here, and also a big thanks to our sponsors, IMA, Kendrill, who are our co-partners, RS Software and STPI, our associate partners, corporate contributor CloudSec, and our outreach partners are IEM and India IT 360. Thank you so much for being here. Have a very good weekend. Thank you. Okay, I'm so sorry. The committee